Hello, hello. Let's get to this, shall we then? Camera's off. It's interesting. Why is my camera off? There we go. Okay. Yeah, we didn't need ES6 stuff today. That's meaning like var and let, I think. One of the biggest problems with declaring variables with the var keyword is that you can overwrite variable declarations without an error. As you can see in the code above, the camper variable is originally declared as James and then overridden to be David. In a small application, you might not run into this type of problem, but when your code becomes larger, you might accidentally overwrite a variable that you did not intend to overwrite. Because this behavior does not throw an error, searching and fixing bugs becomes more difficult. A new keyword, let, was introduced in ES6 to solve this potential issue with the var keyword. If you were to replace var with let in the variable declaration of the code above, the result would be an error. Update the console that only uses the let keyword. So just change the input then. It's also const, isn't there, which can't be changed or something, I think. When you declare a variable with the var keyword, it is declared globally or locally if declared inside a function. The let keyword behaves similarly, with some extra features. When you declare a variable with the let keyword inside a block, statement, or expression, its scope is limited to that block, statement, or expression. I think I need to read that again. What? The let keyword behaves similarly, but with some extra features. When you declare a variable with let keyword inside a block, statement, or expression, its scope is limited to that block, statement, or expression. Okay. With the var keyword, I is declared globally. And that one. And I guess if you replace it with let, it won't be. This behavior will cause problems if you were to create a function and store it for later use inside a for loop that uses the I variable. This is because the stored function will always refer to the value of the updated global variable. Okay. As you can see, print number 2 prints 3 and not 2. This is because the value of I was updated and the print number 2 returns a global I, not the value I. Okay. The let keyword does not follow this behavior. I is not defined because it's not declared in the global scope. It's only declared within the for loop statement. Print number 2 return the correct value because 3 different I variables with unique values 0, 1, and 2 were created by the let keyword within the loop statement. Fix the code so that the I variable, so the I declared in the if statement is a separate variable than the I declared in the first time of the function. Be certain not to use the var keyword anywhere in your code. Here. This exercise is designed to illustrate the difference between how var and let keywords assign scope to the declared variable. When programming a function similar to the one used in this exercise, it's often better to use different variable names to avoid confusion. Okay, that makes sense. Is that what we have to do? No, okay. Fix the code so that I declared in the if statement a separate variable than I declared in the first line of the function. Be certain not to use the var keyword anywhere in your code. Okay, so we've got rid of the var at least. check scope should return function scope. Interesting, okay. Oh. Another let there then, right, I think? Yeah, okay. The keyword let is not the only new way to declare variables. In ES6, you can also declare variables using the const keyword. Const has all the awesome features that let has, with the added bonus that variables declared using const are read-only. They are a constant value, which means that once a variable is assigned, it cannot be reassigned. As you can see, trying to reassign a variable declared with const will throw an error. You should always name variables you don't want to reassign using a const keyword. This helps when you accidentally attempt to reassign a variable that is meant to stay constant. A common practice when naming constants is to use all uppercase letters with words separated by an underscore. Interesting. Change the code so that all variables are declared using let or const. Use let when you want the variable to change and const when you want the variable to remain constant. Also rename variables declared with const to conform to common practices. Okay. Okay. Well, we're gonna want that to stay as which one stay as is, I think so. So that would be apps. Why? Oh, okay, I see. Because it's twice. So when you change apps. Cool. The const declaration has many use cases in modern JavaScript. Some developers prefer to assign all their variables using const by default, unless they know they will need to reassign the value. Only in that case they use let. However, it's important to understand that objects assigned to a variable using const are still mutatable. Using the const declaration only prevents reassignment of the variable identifier. Hey Ryan, how's it going, dude? As you can see, you can mutate the object 567 itself, and the variable s will still point to the altered array. Like all arrays, the array elements in s are mutatable, or mutable, whoops. And because const was used, you cannot use the variable identifier s to point to a different array using the assignment operator. An array is declared as const s equals 572. Change the array to 257 using various element assignments. Okay. So s. What do we? We're changing all of them. So s1 equals 2. S0 equals 2. S1 equals 5, and then S2 equals 7. I mean, we could have just reversed it, but that works. As seen in the previous challenge, const declared alone doesn't really protect your data from mutation. To ensure your data doesn't change, JavaScript provides a function, object.freeze, to prevent data mutation. Once the object is frozen, you can no longer add, update, or delete properties from it. In this challenge, you are going to use object.freeze to prevent mathematical constants from changing. You need to freeze the math constants so that no one is able to alter the value of pi, add, or delete properties. Okay, so object.freeze freeze object. Oh, we're freezing math constants. Yeah, I need to freeze math constants. Math constants.
Feeling the breeze move through the trees, it's a beautiful night.
Cool. In JavaScript, we often don't need to name our functions, especially when passing a function as an argument to another function. Instead, being create inline functions, we don't need to name these functions because we do not reuse them anywhere else. To achieve this, we often use the following syntax. What, just function? ES6 provides us with syntax sugar to not write anonymous functions this way, instead we can use arrow function syntax. When there is no function body and only a return value, arrow function syntax allows you to omit the keyword return, as well as the brackets surrounding the code. This helps simplify smaller functions into one-line statements. Dead chat today, but at least you won't procrastinate by speaking to chat. Yeah, that's true. I mean, the stream is pretty dead, but you know. I can only blame myself. I've been ill the last week. Had an infection. When there's no function body and only return value, arrow function syntax allows you to omit the keyword return as well as a bracket surrounding the code. This helps to simplify small functions into one-line statements. Rewrite the function assigned to the variable magic, which returns a new date, to use arrow function syntax. Also make sure nothing is defined using the var keyword. Okay, well, let's do const. Can you do that? No. Okay. I'll leave it as that, because you know that works. I was going to make it one line, but I guess not. Just like a regular function, you can pass arguments into an arrow function. If an arrow function has a single parameter, the parentheses enclosing the parameter may be omitted. If the arrow function has a single parameter, the parentheses enclosing the parameter may be omitted. Okay. I mean, it's pretty much exactly the same thing, you just got rid of the brackets. Okay. It's possible to pass more than one argument into an arrow function. Rewrite the my concat function which depends the contents of R2 and R1, so the function uses arrow function syntax. Okay. Well, let's change that to const first. I need to make sure I'm drinking water. I've not drunk much water today. I need to finish this by the end of the stream. Hopefully. Alright, so... Oh, it's meant to be equals, right? So all we need to do... In order to help us create more flexible functions, ES6 introduces default parameters for functions. Const greeting equals name equals anonymous hello. Okay, so if there is no name, then I'll do anonymous. Okay. The default parameter kicks in when the argument is not specified, it's undefined. As you can see in the example above, the parameter name will receive its default value. And you do not provide a value for the parameter. Modify the function increment by adding default parameters or add 1 to the number if value is not specified. Add 1 to number if value is not specified. Ooh, how do you do plus? Interesting. How do you do plus? Or I guess you would just make it 1, right? You don't have to plus, as long as you make it 1. I guess you wouldn't need the quotation marks because it's not a string. Let's try console again. Let's console log it with no value. You get not in number. Interesting. Okay. Should still get a number. Let's put 2 in there. See what happens now. 3. Okay. Hey, Hubie. I'm only really. I mean, I know like I sound like a broken record, but I'm really sorry for that stream last week. I got ill. I got an infection, and then I just kind of, I don't know. The infection sort of knocked me sideways. I didn't have any energy. I am sorry. In order to help us create more flexible functions, ES6 introduced the rest parameter for function parameters. With the rest parameter, you can create functions to take a variable number of arguments. These arguments are stored in an array that can be accessed later from inside the function. The rest parameter eliminates the need to check the argument array and allows us to apply, map, filter, and reduce on the parameters array. Okay. Modify the function sum using the rest parameter in such a way that the function sum is able to take any number of arguments and return the sum. A bag of jelly beans. Ooh, I love jelly beans. That's right. I wonder if we can leave the original ones in. Maybe. I do love a good jelly bean. But I could just eat like handfuls of them, you know? They're really kind of bad. How big are we talking? No, I'm not. Leave it as it was. .arg. Can I get rid of this now? I think I get rid of that bit. Okay. The actual jelly beans are the best too, right? What's that company called? Like the main jelly bean company? Is it just Jelly Bean Factory, is that it? Yeah, this is the one. And they do some good ones, man. Let's have a look, shall we? Ooh, the rich tone. Really? I didn't know that. And if you're gonna get them, you have to get a tub, right? I wonder how much a tub is. Buy on Amazon. Oh. £10's not too bad, to be honest, given how overpriced they are, you know. I guess they're not vegan then, right? Because they'll have like gelatin in. Jelly beans are the best treatment for sadness. Unfortunately, you might get more sad though, because you might get like diabetes and obesity. But apart from that, you're all good. Moderation is the key, right? Moderation is the key to life. At least you'll die happy. ES6 introduces a spread operator, which allows us to expand arrays and other expansions in places where multiple parameters or elements are expected. The ES5 code below uses apply to compute the maximum value in an array. Interesting. We had to use math.max apply null r because math.max array returns NaN. Math.max expects comma-separated arguments but not an array. The spread operator makes the syntax much better to read and maintain. Array returns an unpacked array, in other words, it spreads the array. However, the spreader operator only works in place like an argument to a function or an array literal. Copy all contents of array 1 into another array 2 using the spread operator. Ooh, interesting. Is it just R1 and then dot 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 R like that? Does that work? No. I was hoping it might be right anyway, but it's not. One can hope, right? Do you want tips back free? Yes and no. If you think you could offer advice that might help, then sure, go ahead. Let's try it. If you just do it like that. Ooh, that seems to have worked. Okay, so you can just do dot 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 and then do the array itself. You don't have to. Okay, that's cool. Destructing assignment is special syntax introduced in ES6 for neatly assigning values taken directly from an object. Consider the following ES5 code. Const user equals name, John Doe, age 34. Const name is user.name, const age is user.age. Here's an equivalent assignment statement using ES6 destructuring syntax. Okay. Here the name and age variables will be created and assigned the values of the respective values from the user object. You can extract as many or as few values from the object as you want. Replace the two assignments with an equivalent destructuring assignment. So ES6 is basically just like cleaning up the language a bit, right? It's like making the syntax a bit simpler and easier to read. Replace the two assignments with an equivalent destructuring assignment. It should be still assigned the variables today and tomorrow. Values of today and tomorrow from the high temperatures object. Okay. So const. What do you do, Buzz? You're a developer. Doesn't like the .today bit. Okay, I did not like anything I just did, so let's undo it. I'm unemployed and moving into a technical interview soon there for a company. Oh, that's awesome, dude. Will that be your first job as a developer? That's pretty awesome, dude. Congrats. Yes, ooh, interesting. You self-taught. Right, let's try doing this. So const because it's the object, right? So today, tomorrow equals, what was it? High temperatures. I did a kind of Lambda bootcamp for 3 months, but it wasn't really for me. Bollocks. I thought I had it. Dodo being smart. Spot tomorrow wrong. There we go. How do you teach yourself then? Just do projects, or did you do online courses like I'm doing? Destructuring allows you to assign a new variable name when extracting values. You can do this by putting a new name after a colon when assigning the value. What? Destructuring allows you to assign new variable names when extracting values. Okay. Free code canvas are my favorite resources. Oh, awesome. Here's how you can give new variable names in the assignment. You may read it as get the value of username and assign it to the new variable called username and so on. Okay. Replace the two assignments with equivalent destructuring assignment. You should still assign the variables high today and high tomorrow to the values of today and tomorrow from the high temperatures object. Okay, so today high today tomorrow. What type of dev you doing then? Is it web dev? High tomorrow. Did we spell that right? Equals high underscore temperature. Spelling is hard, it's fine. Right. Oh, I'm an idiot. Get rid of that. And it should be a semicolon. Just gonna quickly remove this from the playlist. It's a bit too kind of. There you go. Alright, no worries, dude. Ready to react. That's cool. You can use the same principles from the previous two lessons to destructure values from nested objects. Oh god, okay. Using objects similar to previous examples. Here's how to extract the values of object properties and assign them to variables with the same name. Okay. Replace the two assignments with an equivalent destructuring assignment. Don't overreact, god damn it. It should still assign the variables low today and high today to the values of today low, today high. Okay. That was a terrible joke, my dude. Okay, so today brackets low semicolon. And what did I want? Low today. High today. And then close both, and then equals local underscore forecast, like that. Ooh. Should still assign the variables low today and high today to the values of today low and today high. My local forecast. But okay. Capital T. So const today, that must be right. And then low, which should be named as low today, and high should be named as high today equals local forecast. It's not forecast wrong. God damn! My spelling is fucking awful, boys. Awkward as fuck. Guild Wars 2 has a new living story chapter, by the way. I heard it was terrible. Coding is easy, spelling is hard. That's what I'm saying. One key difference in the spread operator and the array destructuring is the spread operator unpacks all contents of an array into a comma-separated list. Consequently, you cannot pick or choose which elements you want to assign to variables. Destructuring an array lets us do exactly that. The variable A is assigned the first value of the array, and B is assigned the second value of the array. We can also access the value of any index in an array with destructuring by using commas to reach the desired index. Yeah, I heard that it was really not interesting at all. Almost quite repetitive. Use destructuring assignments to swap values of A, B so that A receives the value stored in B and B receives the value stored in A. Interesting. Okay. Did I put that 3 there? By accident. Yes, I did. Okay. That would make sense, because otherwise that 3 was a bit weird. Alright, so let A equals 8 and B equals 6, so... I can just do... A, B equals B, A, right? So it needs to be more complicated than that? No, okay. Destructuring assignment with the rest parameter to reassign array elements. In some situations involving array destructuring, we might want to collect the rest of the elements into separate arrays. Variables A and B will be taken to the first and second values of the array. After that, because the rest parameters present, array gets the rest of the values in the form of an array. The rest element only works correctly as the last variable in the list. Use the structuring assignment with the rest parameter to form an effective array.prototype.slice so that an array is a subarray of the original array source with the first two elements omitted. Okay. I swear I just removed this song. Or is this a similar song? Oh yeah. Use a destructuring assignment with the rest parameter to form an effective array.prototype.slice so that array is a subarray of the original array source with the first two elements limited. Like that. In some cases, you can destructure the object and a function argument itself. Consider the code below. Const profile update. Name, age, nationality, location equal profile data. Okay, when profile data is passed to the above function, the value of destructure and the function parameter of use within the function. Use destructuring assignment with the argument to the function half to send only max and min inside the function. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Right. Use the structuring argument within the argument to the function half to send only max and min. Bum, bum. So squiggly bracket. So max min. Use to structure the argument function half to send only max and min inside the function. And then it was divided by 2, wasn't it? I think we did it all. Yeah, okay. Cool. David JPO, thank you very much for that follow, dude, and welcome, welcome. My brain is struggling to engage a bit, I think. I can understand everything I'm doing so far, but you know, I don't know how much I'm absorbing. A new feature of ES6 is the template literal. This is a special type of string that makes creating complex strings easier. Oh, that's that thing, right? A lot of things happened here. Firstly, the example is backticks, not quotes, throughout the string. Secondly, notice that the string is multi-line, both in the code and the output. This saves inserting /n within strings. The $sign variable syntax is a placeholder. Basically, you won't have to use concatenation with the plus operator anymore. To add variable strings, you just drop the variable in a template string and wrap it with the $. Similarly, you can include other expressions in your string literal, for example, $a plus b. This is a new way of creating strings that gives you more flexibility to create robust strings. Use template literal. Hold on, let me ban this person. Use template literal syntax with backticks to create an array of list element li strings. Each list element text should be one of the array elements from the failure property and the result object, and have a class attribute with the value text warning. The make list function to return an array of item strings. Why are so many shit songs on this playlist? Yeah, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna remove all of these want to stick out ones for now. Give me 2 secs, boys. I have removed them. Right, okay, so use template literal syntax with backticks, create an array list element. Each list element tag should be one of the array elements from the failure property on the result object and have class attribute with the value text warning. The make list function should return the array of the item strings. Okay. So we let here not constantly changing it, so let I equals 0 and then do I is less than array.len, then do I plus plus, right, and then which one is it again? Is it push? Adds new item to the end of an array. Dot push. Okay, so li loss equals text warning. Oh, it needs the thingy. Okay, and then we use the iterator thing, right? Where's the dollar sign? There it is. 4. Okay, dollar sign, and then let me close the list. Christ, how'd you close the list again? Backslash li, right? Like that. That's meant to be I, not 1. That's meant to be a semicolon. The back tick goes after that, so it goes here. Class equal text warning. Nope. It's probably gonna be my syntax somewhere. It's always my syntax somewhere. If in doubt, it's my syntax. That is the point that you can now get a template. That I think is that one, right? Okay, at least it looks better now. Like it's on the correct colors and shit, right? But it's still wrong. You know it needs it, but if only I had a template. Right. Failure list should equal to the specified output. Give space after clause. I thought that's the thing. Oh my god. That means I really made that much of a difference is back in space. Syntax is the bane of my life. ES6 adds some nice support for easily defined object literals. Consider the following code. Const get mouse position XY. Get mouse position is a simple function that returns an object containing two properties. ES6 provides syntactic sugar to eliminate the redundancy of having to write XX. You can simply write X once and it will be converted to XX or something equivalent under the hood. Here is the same function from above written to use this new syntax. It didn't save you that much time, let's be honest. Use the object properties shorthand with object literals to create and return the object with name, age, and gender properties. Right. So, they still had the first one, they just removed the second one, right? And then they just put... I mean, also it doesn't have to be on a new line, does it? Just make it simpler. Okay. Well, I hadn't lost my mind. That's always good to know. Right, defining functions within objects in ES5, we have to use the keyword function as follows. With ES6, you can remove the function keyword and the colon altogether when defining functions in objects. I'm pretty sure we've already done that anyway. Pretty sure that's how we've been doing it, I think. Refactor the function set gear inside the object by called from shorthand syntax described above, so just go to that. ES6 provides a new syntax for objects using the class keyword. Should be noticed that the class syntax and syntax are not a fully fledged class-based implementation of an object-oriented paradigm. Wow, that's a sentence. Try and say that quickly. In ES5, we're usually just trying to construct a function and use a new keyword to initiate an object. The class syntax simply replaces the constructor function creation. Okay. Should be noted that the class keyword declares a new function to which constructor resided. This constructor is invoked when new is called to create a new object. Uppercase should be used by convention. The constructor method is a special method for creating and initializing an object created with class. Use the class keyword and write a constructor to create the vegetable class. The vegetable class allows you to create vegetable objects with a property name that gets passed as constructor. So class vegetable. How to spell vegetable? Alright, and then constructor. Open everything, we're getting learned up in here. Sort of. How are you, dude? How's your week been? Right, this target planet, so this name equals name. Like that. Well, it's coming out with carrots, that's a good sign. Cool. I see you're in classes now. Classes are fun. If you say so, they're more fun than arrays at least. I don't like arrays. Arrays bother me. I don't know why. But they just do. Arrays just get under my skin, you know? I just guess I'm not an array girl. Although I'm aware that like 90% of programming uses arrays. I mean, that might be an exaggeration, but a lot of programming uses arrays. Hey Dubstep! I too am not an array girl, or a girl, but definitely not an array girl. But you could be an array boy. Are you an array boy? You can, we're not really on classes anyway, we're just doing ES6 stuff for some random reason. If I were an array boy, how many boys would I fit? Yikes. You have to give it some time to reboot itself, EB. My most followed viewer, not that they're really a viewer that much anymore, but he's been following since, I want to say, July 2014. So that's what, like six and something years. Wonder if I can do followage on myself. I better say they don't follow. I mean, I spelt it wrong, so there's that. Yeah, I don't follow myself. Ha! I mean, I can't follow myself. I'm not given the option. I remember getters and setters. Getter functions are meant to simply return and get the value of an object's private variable to the user without the user directly accessing the private variable. Setter functions are meant to modify or set the value of an object private variable based on the value passed into the setter function. This change can involve calculations or even overwriting the previous value completely. You're just avoiding yourself. Yeah, I hate watching my stream. My stream's terrible. Why would anyone want to watch it? Please don't leave. Then program. Correct, yes. That's what we are doing. It's a very fucking slow process. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a difference in American and English. I think. It's how you spell program in English. In American English, program is the correct spelling. In British English, program is the preferred spelling. Well, where do you live? Most places use American English. Yeah, exactly. You're American, so that would make sense. Whereas I am British, so I use the British spelling. Been studying computer science for 4 years, and that's the first time I heard that. Oh. I think programming is one of the most annoying jobs ever created. Why? You wouldn't have all your websites and shit. Like, how would you get on YouTube, dude, with no programmers? There would be no YouTube. There'd be no Twitch, okay? You wouldn't be here. We'd all be still reading books. It would be terrible. I mean, just in general, like, American words are a little bit different. They wouldn't be pulling up. Ooh, dude, true. Imagine that. I stayed 1 hour to realize that I wrote length word wrong. Yeah, it's like a really good spell checker, right? Programming. Do you want to know how to spell? Notice the syntax used to invoke the getter and setter. They do not even look like functions. Getter and setters are important because they hide internal implementation details. Note, it is convention to precede the name of a private variable with the underscore. Okay. So this underscore author. Use the class keyword to create a thermostat class. The constructor accepts the Fahrenheit temperature. Okay, bollocks. Now create a getter and a setter in the class to obtain the temperature in Celsius. The correct way to do temperature, boys and girls. Celsius. Okay, thank you. I mean, technically it would be Kelvin, but let's not go there. I know your message is going through. I can see you. Remember that C equals 5 divided by 9 times F blah 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 blah, where F is the value of the temperature. Note when you implement this, you will track the temperature inside there. Okay, so we're gonna have to get and then, right, so. Class thermo. Would help if I could also type, you know, that would be like step 1. Alright. Constructor. What do I do the constructor as then? Is a constructor thermos? Yes, we did see that one. Sorry, I read it. I read it in my head. Sometimes I'm really terrible. I'm like the world's worst streamer. Okay, like at some point you will actually realize this. Yeah. I read it in my head and didn't read it out loud. I've had issues in other streams today. Maybe other streamers are just ignoring you. Did you ever think about dem apples? Killer bees. Is it killer bees? Are you saying kill the bees, or are you saying you are a killer bee? I guess the constructor is Fahrenheit, right? How do you spell Fahrenheit? Fahrenheit. Right, and then this dot Fahrenheit equals. Oh, I guess we do it as lowercase. I don't know. Fuck it, do it lowercase. I think it's meant to be lowercase. Equals Fahrenheit. Can't type. Height. Right. And then we need to do the getter. So get. I guess it would be. Temperature. Return this dot Fahrenheit. Motherfucker. Fahrenheit. Why is Fahrenheit like the hardest word to spell ever made? Alright, and then set temperature Celsius. Okay. Return this dot Fahrenheit. 5 divided by 9 times Fahrenheit minus. I wonder if this worked. Does it just work that out? Alright, how do we do, boys? Did we do it? We did it wrong around. So we want. No, we did it wrong. The constructor accepts a Fahrenheit temperature and we want to change it to Celsius. Yeah, that's what we're around, right? Thermostat should be able to be instantiated. What? The hell does instantiated mean? Now okay. Right, well. I know I did. Get. Alright, return. Five divided by 9. This is where I've done wrong. So, return. Right, and then return. This Fahrenheit. Do we need to return? They didn't do return, did they? Let's go to the return because they didn't put return on the second one. Equals, right, so then it's Celsius. Am I spelling Celsius wrong? No. Celsius times 9 divided by 5. Plus 32, and I'm probably going to need some brackets here. Also, it shouldn't be times, it should be star. Right. I'm a Boston Bruins fan. Hell is a Boston Bruins fan about baseball. Hockey. They play hockey in America? I mean, obviously I know they play hockey in America, but I didn't know they play hockey in Boston. Isn't Boston like, you know, missing the key ingredient of snow? Does it snow in Boston a lot? Maybe it does. I don't know. I've never been to Boston, so what the fuck would I know, right? Where is Boston anyway? Isn't it in Massachusetts? Boston, Massachusetts. Do you like my American accent? It's amazing. I know. Don't all clap at once. It snows a lot here. Okay, fair enough. My kiddo plays on a travel team. You're saying a lot of words that I don't understand. What the fuck is a travel team? I mean, I know nothing about sports, and I definitely know nothing about American sports. I know a little bit about, like, football, as in European football. And I know the rules of netball and rounders. That's pretty much it. And even then, I'm kind of iffy in all of it. He travels internationally to play hockey. To where? Canada? Does anyone else play hockey apart from Canada? Isn't it just America and Canada? I wasn't aware anyone else played it. It's not something we ever played in England. Hockey is not a thing. Russia, but I'd rather not. Fair enough. JavaScript starts with a small role to play on otherwise mostly HTML web. Today it's huge, and some websites are built mostly entirely out of JavaScript. In order to make JavaScript more modular, clean, and maintainable, ES6 introduced a way to easily share code among JavaScript files. Are we still on ES6, by the way, or is it like ES7 yet? This involves exporting parts of files for use in one or more other files, and importing the parts you need where you need them. In order to take advantage of this is scripting, right? Okay, I know how to do scripting. Liverpool, woo! That is actually, not that I don't actually like actively support them anymore, but as a kid I used to support Liverpool. I mean, it's been like 10 years, like, since I gave a shit about football, but Liverpool's the shit. So there's like city league sports where everyone gets like sports complex to play. Travel teams will actually go to different cities, states, countries to compete. That's pretty cool. But I think America takes sport a lot more seriously than we do in our schools. Like, you don't really get sports scholarships and stuff in England to go to college. Add a script to HTML document type module and give it the source file of index.js. Let's just feed. Wow, so hard. Really, yeah. If you got the scholarship but the school was in Stoke-on-Trent, where would you go? Scholarships aren't really a massive thing in England because you don't really. I mean, yeah, we get a lot of. It's not private. Like, I mean, it's not the same thing. So we get a government loan. So you get a student loan for your tuition fee, and you get your student loan for like to help pay for your food and accommodation and stuff, right? Scholarships are not as massive as they are in America. No one really pays. Sorry, I hit the microphone. No one really pays for college up front in England, you know. Everyone just gets student loans and then pays them off later. It depends on what the school was, like what the name of the school was, how academically good the school was, and what course I got into, you know. Also, it's very different in England. You don't go to study like a major and then do lots of other classes. You study your course. So if I'm going to university to study biology, I do biology. I'm not going to have random maths and photography classes in there. I'll have biology classes and that'll be it. We don't do like majors and minors. You don't really do classes outside of your degree. You do biology and that's pretty much it. I mean, you can do like clubs and stuff outside, but you don't go to like lectures and stuff on other subjects. It's not really a thing. Which I think it should be. I would love to be able to like photography or like video editing, like side course. No, I did nursing, so not like I learned anything useful for what I'm doing nowadays. Doomsday Iron, thank you very much for that follow, dude. Welcome. Imagine a file called math_functions.js that contains several functions related to mathematical operations. One of them is stored in a variable add that takes two numbers and returns their sum. You want to use this function in several different JavaScript files. In order to share it with these other files, you first need to export it. Interesting. The above is a common way to export a single function, but it can achieve the same thing like this. Okay, let's put it at the end of the function. It might be because that's where he lives. And I don't think Stoke-on-Trent is like, you know, known as the best place in England. When you export a variable or a function, you can import it in another file and use it without having to rewrite the code. I mean, can't you just copy and paste the code in? Is that not simpler? There are two string-related function in the editor. Export both of them using the method of your choice. Shouldn't this have a capital C? Isn't that incorrect syntax right there? Or am I wrong? I swear that should be what's it called? Camel case, and that should be, they should both be uppercase C's. Yeah, but I thought with camel case that you do the lowercase treat a single word. Yeah, that's true. Is that right? Both lowercase and lowercase can be seen in common usage, but it seems that lowercase became more popular in the 1980s. Okay. I bet it was you Americans that did it. God damn it, America. Import allows you to choose which parts of a file or module to load. In the previous lesson, the examples exported add from the mathfunction.js file. Now you can import using another file. Here, import will find add in mathfunction.js, import that function for you to use and ignore the rest. The // tells the import to look for the mathfunction.js file in the same folder as the current file. The relative file path and file extension are required when using import in this way. You can import more than one item from the file by adding them in the import statement. Add the appropriate import statement that will allow the current file to use uppercase string and lowercase string functions you exported in the previous lesson. These functions are in a file called string_function.js. Okay. So import. Oh my god, import. Thank you. Upper string, lower case. Nope, I did it myself. From I never looked until now what my state is over half the size of the entire UK. Where are you from? Yeah, the UK is very small. For such a small country though, we had a massive impact, like... I mean, not so much now, but back in the day we were the power. And from such a tiny little, like, island, you have to admit it's pretty impressive. Right, spring... functions .js. As far as I know, coding conventions, I've given this link, it could be a DDB camel case. It's just because in some languages, I mean, some people do it as 2 words and some people do it as 1 word. You can't count as Australia as UK, that's the Commonwealth, that's different. If you would say the size of the Commonwealth, that'd be different, but Australia's not part of the UK. They're part of the Commonwealth, it's 2 different things. The Commonwealth is sort of like the European Union, if you want to think about it like that. It's kind of like just a selection of countries that we used to govern that we no longer govern, but have decided to remain in the Commonwealth. Not that I'm like a massive expert, but the UK would consist of England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. And Wales, technically, if you want to count that as well. Suppose you have a file and you wish to import all of its content into the current file. This can be done with the import star syntax. Here's an example where the contents of a file named mathfunction.js are imported into a file the same directly. Okay. In the input above, we'll create an object called myMath module. This is just a variable name. You can name it anything. The object will contain all of the exports from math function JS in it, and you can access the function like you would any other object property. Yeah, the Commonwealth are countries that we used to govern and own, basically, but that declared independence from us and decided to stay in the Commonwealth. So the difference is the US never joined the Commonwealth, but Australia did. So technically, you know, we did own the US for a while. There. The code in this file requires the contents of the file string_function.js that's in the same directory as the current file. Use the import as syntax, import everything in the file into an object called string functions. Okay, so import the start as string functions. I wonder if there's a gap there. I don't think there is. I know why that as is not blue. Whatever. String functions from string functions .js. Why does it not like my import as? Alright, we can do no spaces. We can do a space there. We can do a space there. Why it not like my spaces? Did I spell import wrong? No. Why no like my ass? You know what, fuck it, let's just copy it. Okay, I copied it, okay? I copied it! Oh. Yeah, fair enough. I meant in very simple terms. Which is why you can't say that Australia is part of the UK, because it's not. In the export lesson, you learned about the syntax referred to as named export. This allows you to make multiple functions and variables available for others. There is another export syntax you need to know, known as export default. Usually will have a syntax if only one value is being exported from the file. It's also used to create a fallback value for a file or module. Since export default is used to declare a fallback value for a modular file, you can only have one value be a default export in each modular file. Additionally, you cannot use export default with var, let, or const. Okay, the following function should be a fallback for the module. Please add the necessary code to do so. Export default. Is that it? Okay. I don't know what's happened to my music, but we'll go on to the next song. In the last challenge, you learned about export default and its uses. To import a default export, you just need to use a different import syntax. For example, add is a default export of math function.js file. Hey Amber. Long time no talk. How you been? You know. The syntax difference of monkey paste, the imported value, add is not surrounded by curly braces. Add here is simply a variable name for whatever the default export of mathfunction.js file is. In the following code, import the default export from the math.function.js file, found in the same direction as this file, give the import name subtract. Math underscore functions.js. A promise in JavaScript is exactly what it sounds like. Use it to make a. Wait, what was it doing in your dream? Let's jump back to that quickly. Use it to make a promise to do something, usually asynchronously. What the hell does that mean? Happening at the same time. So out of sync, okay. When the task completes, you either fulfill your promise or you fail to do so. Promise is a constructor function, so you need to use a new keyword to create one. It takes a function as argument of two parameters, resolve and reject. These are the methods used to determine the outcome of the promise. Okay. Const make. What am I doing? Const make server request new promise resolve reject curly braces. There you go. Matt. Okay, it's just a space. A promise of 3 states: pending, fulfilled, and rejected. The promise you created in the last challenge is forever stuck in the pending state because you did not add a way to complete the promise. The resolve and reject parameters given to the promise argument are used to do this. Resolve is when you want your promise to succeed, and reject is when you want it to fail. So resolve, promises are failed. Okay. Make the promise handle success and failure. If response from server is true, call the resolve. Okay. Else if reject data not received, data not received. Damn it. What is wrong here? No, I bet it doesn't want full stops. I bet that it's put full stops here, but it is outside the grey bit, so I think... Nope. Spell it received wrong. Yep, there you go. Promises are most useful when you have a process that takes an unknown amount of time in your code, i.e. something asynchronous, often a server request. When you make a server request, it takes some amount of time, and after it completes, you usually want to do something with the response from the server. This can be achieved by using the then method. The then method is executed immediately after your promise is fulfilled but resolved. Okay. Think in programming terms, synchronous is when you wait for the task to complete so that you can see the result. Okay. Add the then method to your promise, use result as the parameters of its callback function and log result of the console. Okay, you should call the then method on the promise. Okay. Right, so make server request dot then results, no, it did, equals greater than sign. Okay, and what's it want me to do? Use result as callback function and log the results. Okay, so then you do console log cell dot log results. Okay. Catch is a method used when your promise has been rejected. It is executed immediately after the promise's reject method is called. Error is the argument passed to the reject method. Add the catch message to your promise. Make server request dot catch error. And then log error to the console. Okay. Console.log error. Cool. Right, that's the ES6 section done, boys and girls. We did all this today. It's not too shabby, huh? We're gonna skip the regular expressions because last time it made me want to blow my brains out and quit the stream several times. So I think I'm gonna go for it again. I'm just gonna do it off stream because it's something I really need to focus on. I think go over it again. And I really struggled last time, so we're gonna move on to debugging. Which will be fun. And then we've got basic data structures. So I think we will probably get through this tomorrow, which means that on Saturday we'll be starting brand new things I've never learnt before, which will be interesting. We have breezed through it this time though compared to last time. This time it took us 15 days to get down here. And this time we've done it in 4. Well, it'll be 5 days. We did it 10 days earlier than the first time, I guess. Which is an improvement. I feel pretty good though. So I think we might do some we might start the debugging now actually. Let's go a little bit longer. Just get through the debugging section. Both Chrome and Firefox have excellent JavaScript consoles, also known as dev tools, for debugging your JavaScript. You can find developer tools in your Chrome menu or web console. If you're using a different browser, blah blah blah. The console.log method, which prints the output of what's within its parentheses to the console, will likely be the most helpful debugging tool. Placing it at strategic points in your code can show you the intermediate values of variables. It's good practice to have an idea of what the output should be before looking at what it is. Having checking points see the status of your calculations throughout your code will help narrow down where the problem is. Here's an example to print hello world to the console. Use the console.log method to print the value of A when noted in the code. We've done this a lot. I didn't ignore your message, I read it in my head. .log A. Bum, 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 bum. You may have noticed that some free CodeCamp JavaScript challenges include their own console. It says down here, I guess. This console behaves a little differently than the browser console you used in the last challenge. The following challenge is meant to highlight the main difference between the free CodeCamp console and your browser console. When you run ordinary JavaScript, the browser console will display your console.log statements the exact number of times it's called. Maybe we should open the console. What button is to open the console? Not that one. Oh. Turn on carrot browsing. What in the fuck is carrot browsing? The fuck is carrot browsing? Uh-oh. What is carrot browsing? So when you use the keyboard to navigate instead of your mouse, who the fuck wants to do that? Why is that a thing? Alright. No, that's refresh. Fuck, did you open the... There we go. When you run ordinary JavaScript, the browser console will display your console.log statements the exact number of times it's called. The free CodeCamp console will print your console.log statements a short time after the editor detects a change in the script, as well as during testing. The free CodeCamp console is cleared before the tests are run, and to avoid spam, only prints the logs during the first test. If you would like to see log for every test, run the test and open the browser console. If you prefer using the browser console and you want to mimic the free CodeCamp console, place console.clear before any other console calls to clear the browser console. First use console.log to log the output variable, then use console.clear to clear the browser. Okay. Console.log. Output. Get this login at once in the free CodeCamp console and twice in the browser console. How do I get it logged twice? Ah, like that, okay. Then use console.clear. Console.clear. Cool. You can use type of to check the data structure or type of a variable. This is useful in debugging when working with multiple data types. If you think you're adding two numbers, but one is actually a string, the results can be unexpected. Type errors can lurk in calculations or function calls. Be careful, especially when you're accessing and working with external data in the form of JSON objects. JavaScript recognizes 6 primitive immutable data types: Boolean, null, undefined number, string, and symbol. What the hell's symbol? And one type of immutable objects. Note that in JavaScript, arrays are technically a type of object. Add 2 console log statements to check type of each of the 2 variables. Okay. Console.log type of 7. It's a string, okay. Console.log type of it should be a number. Maybe I don't put it in here. Maybe I do it like that. There you go, number and string. Yeah, there you go, that's better. That's better. The console.log and type of methods are the 2 primary ways to check intermediate values and types of program output. Now it's time to get into the common forms that bugs take. One syntax level issue that fast typers can commiserate with is humble spelling error. God damn it. Transposed, missing, or miscapitalized characters in a variable or function name will have the browser looking for an object that doesn't exist and can play in the form of a reference error. Fix the 2 spelling errors in the code so that network and capital calculator works. Okay. Receivables. Maybe that was about right in the beginning. And payables. Okay, it wants me to actually fix them so it's about right. Mod ham. I'm gonna go mod ham. Thanks for follow, dude. Welcome to the team. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Another syntax error to be aware of is that all opening parentheses, brackets, curly braces, and quotes have a closing pair. Forgetting a piece tends to happen when you're editing existing code and inserting items with 1 pair types. Also take care when nesting code blocks into others, such as adding a callback function and an argument to a method. One way to avoid this mistake is as soon as the opening character is typed, immediately include the closing match, then move the cursor back between them to continue. Fix the 2 pair errors in the code. Okay, well, that's 1 I spotted immediately. And 1... Needs another. Oh. And then the rest are good. No. Maybe I was right. Oops. Unless it's just 1, it doesn't need to. Nope. Because it's got that bit there. I need to put a bracket to pull that thing, right? Yeah, okay. JavaScript allows the use of both single and double quoted quotes. To declare a string, deciding which one to use generally comes down to personal preference with some exceptions. Having two choices is great when the string has contractions or another piece of text that's in quotes. Just be careful you don't close the string too early, it causes a syntax error. Fix the string so it either uses different quotes for the href value or escapes the existing one. Oh god. Let's just use it as... Is it backtick? Is that the one you use? Ooh. Nope. Or is it actual? I think it's actual quotes, isn't it? Okay. I must have just accidentally deleted something. Oops. Branching programs, I use ones that do different things when certain conditions are met. Rely on if, else if, and else statements in JavaScript. The conditions sometimes take the form of testing whether the result is equal to a value. This logic is spoken in English at least as if x equals y, then blah 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 blah, which can literally translate into code using equals or assignment operator. This leads to unexpected control flow in your program. As covered in previous challenges, the assignment operator in JavaScript assigns a value to a variable name, and the equals equals and equals 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 operator check for the equality. The code below assigns x to be 2, which evaluates as true. Almost every value on its own in JavaScript evaluates as true, except when they end as falsy values. Fix the condition so the program runs the right branch and appropriate value is assigned to results. Cool. When a function or method doesn't take any arguments, you may forget to include the empty opening and closing parentheses when calling it. Oftentimes, the result of a function call is saved in a variable for other use in your code. This error can be detected by logging variable values of the type to the console and saying that one is set to a function reference instead of the expected value from the function returns. Fix the code so the variable result is set to the value returned from calling the function getNine. Like that. Oh, hold on. I'm an idiot. Yeah. Continue the discussion on calling functions. The next bug to watch out for is when a function to arguments is supplied in the incorrect order. Oh, interesting. If the arguments are different types, such as function expecting an array and an integer, this will likely throw a runtime error. If the arguments are the same type, then the logic of the code won't make sense. Make sure to supply all required arguments in the proper order to avoid these issues. The function raised to power raises the base to an exponent. Unfortunately, it's not called properly. Fix the code so the value of power is expected 8. Anyone got any plans for this weekend? I know it's only Thursday. But anyone doing anything fun in these COVID times? Right. 2 times 2 is 4. Times 2 is 8. So you want it to be 2 to the power of 3, which means it goes base. I mean, we could have just figured that out because they're called base, but you know. We went the math route. Off by 1 error is sometimes called oboe. Okay, crop up when you're trying to target a specific index of a string or array to slice or access a segment, and looping over the indices of them. JavaScript indexing starts at 0, not 1, which means the last index is always 1 less than the length of the item. I'm working all day all weekend. Oh really? Did you get a weekend this week then? Or are you just doing a straight week and then another straight week? See, I like staying at home, so I don't mind. It's much better than going outside. Fix the 2 indexing errors in the following functions so numbers 1 to 5 are printed to the console. There we go. Starts at 0. To get rid of that? Okay. Sometimes it's necessary to save information, increment counters, or reset variables within a loop. A potential issue is when variables either should be reinitialized and aren't, or vice versa. This is particularly dangerous if you accidentally reset the variable being used for the terminal conditions called an infinite loop. Printing variable values with each cycle of your loop by using console.log can uncover buggy behavior related to resetting or failing to reset a value. The following function is supposed to create 2-dimensional array m rows and n columns of zeros. Unfortunately, it's not producing the expected output because the row variable isn't being reinitialized, set back to an empty array in the outer loop. Fix the code so it returns the correct 3 times 2 array of zeros. Ooh. Does it actually tell you how to reinitialize? That's the question. I just want to actually reinitialize. Maybe I'm being an idiot. He does know many things. He is the man of many knowledge. Okay, so let new array. Right, if we just change the scope. So all we have to do? Change the scope? Oh, okay. The final topic in this thread is the dreaded infinite loop. Okay. Loops are great tools when you need to your program to run a code block a certain number of times or until a condition is met. but they need a terminal condition that ends the looping. Infinite loops are likely to freeze or crash the browser, cause general programming execution mayhem, which no one wants. There was an example of an infinite loop in the introduction of this section. It had no terminal condition to break out the while loop inside loopy. Do not call this function. Lol. It's the programmer's job to ensure the terminal condition, which tells the program when to break out the loop code, is eventually reached. One error is incrementing or decrementing a counter variable in the wrong direction from the terminal condition. Another one is accidentally resetting a counter or an index variable within the loop code instead of incrementing or decrementing it. And my function contains an infinite loop because the terminal condition I does not equals 4 will never evaluate to false and break the looping. Minus I will increment by 2 each pass and jump right over 4 since I is odd to start. Fix the comparison operator so the terminal condition for the loop runs for only if I is less than or equal to 4. Well, that's that section done. That took up like 10 minutes. Alright, we are now on basic data structures. Should you do this today? Fuck it, let's go. The below is an example of the simplest implementation of an array data structure. This is known as one-dimensional array, meaning it only has one level, so that it does not have any other arrays nested within it. Notice it contains Boolean strings and numbers among other valid JavaScript data types. All arrays have a length property, which is shown above, can be very easily accessed with the syntax array.length. A more complex implementation of an array can be seen below. This is known as multi-dimensional array. I hate arrays, or an array that contains other arrays. Notice that this array also contains JavaScript objects, which we'll examine very closely in our next section. But for now, all you need to know is that arrays are also capable of storing complex objects. We've defined a variable called your array. Complete the statement by assigning an array of at least 5 elements in the length to your array variable. Your array should contain at least one string, one number, and one boolean. Right, I don't know. What are we making an array of? I have no idea. How should we put in it? Please do what they did. 1, 1, 2. Let's be really original. 2. Need a comma. Three. Let's put 3. That's annoying. 4. Why will it not just like... Yeah. 4. Was needed near the boolean as well, right? So 5. Do we just put true, false? True. Does that count? 6. False. Or without the string here. Okay. True. How many did I want? 1, 5, right? So A, this is the dumb, Yep. Still dumb. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god, we have to do another one. C. Okay. Can we stop now? D. Please. Yeah, I know I need to get rid of the thing. Hold on. Right, so what is that? Whatever. Right. We need another one of them. We need to go. Oh no, that's fine. We need another one of them. Be at least 5 elements long. Hey Nuno, how's it going, dude? Bam, bam. I think those items are objects, not strings or booleans they require, really. Fine. I can do it like this, I think. 1, 2, through. Yes. I. One string, one number, one boolean. Okay. The fundamental feature of an array of a data structure is, of course, the ability to not only store data, but to be able to retrieve that data on command. So now that we've learned how to create an array, let's begin to think about how we can access that array's information. And we define a simple array as seen below. There are 3 items in it, A, B, and C. And each array, in an array, each array item has an index. We already know this. We've done this. Why are we doing this again? Use bracket notation, we have now reset the item. We've done this. In order to complete the challenge, set the second index from array to anything we want besides B. Okay. So, my array, I am drinking water. I'm not doing very well though. It's like here, and I was meant to finish this by the end of the stream. Index 1 equals C. Oh, my butt hurts. Now that I'm old as fuck, my butt always hurts when I sit down for too long. Anyone else get that? Like my actual butt cheeks hurt. An array's length, like the data type it contains, is not fixed. Arrays can be defined. Okay, we've done push and unshift before. Why are they going over things again? I'm confused. We've defined a function, mixed numbers, which are passing an array as argument. Modify the function by using push and unshift. Add I, 2, and 3 to the beginning of the array, and 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 to the end, so the returned array contains representation of 1 to 9 in that order. Okay. So, mixed numbers dot push Or do you want unshift first? Does it matter? I 2 3. I think it matters which order I put it in, but I'll do it in the same order they did, but they did the unshift first. Mixed numbers dot get shift. Alright, and then it wants 7, and it wants V 1 2 3 9. Did I spell unshift wrong? Why is it mixed numbers to unshift is not? Mixed numbers to unshift is not a function. But you just told me to do it. I've not spelt it wrong. What have we done wrong now? So it does matter. So this does need to go first. I thought the push put it at the beginning. Push adds elements to the end of the array. Whoops, okay, fine, fair enough. Alright, what was the other one? 7. B 1 2 3 and 9. Okay, we got there eventually. That did far too long. And then pushing pop and shift. It removes it, right? We have a defined function pop shift, which takes an array as an argument and returns a new array. Modify the function using pop and shift to remove the first and last elements of the argument array and assign the removed elements to corresponding variables. Okay. So popped. We'll take it from the end, I guess. So let popped equals raw dot. And equals dot shift. Challenge complete. Woo! I do really need to pee. So I will be back in 2 seconds, guys. Don't miss me too much. Need to remember my pants are undone. Let's hide it. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. Right. Let me splice. So splice allows us to do this. That remove any number of consecutive elements from anywhere in an array. Ooh, I think we've actually used splice before. Okay. Splice can take up 3 parameters, but for now I'll focus on just the first 2. The first 2 parameters of splice are integers, which represent indexed positions of that array. And remember, arrays have 0 index, so to indicate the first element of an array, we would use 0.splice. Okay. Splice only modifies the array it's been called on to return the new array containing the value of the removed element. Hey, robot, you actually made it to a stream, dude. We initialize an array using splice to remove elements from R so that it only contains elements summed value 10. Interesting. Okay, right, so 10. So we remove 7, 5, and 5. So that'll be 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we want to move 7, so 5, which should be 0, 1, 2. So array how have you been, dude? How's work been? Any improvement? So 2, 3, 4, and 5. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? I think it's not removed the second. What's it removed instead of the 5? You could still idiots. Fair enough, fair enough. Am I doing that wrong? But we removed the 5, 7, and the 5. Why is the 5 still on there? 0, 1, 2. Oh, maybe it's already removed it. So then it'd be 0, 1, 2. So then it would be 0, 1, 2, 3. And then it'd be 0, 1, 2, 3. Does that work? No, I was being an idiot. Okay. I was really hoping that that would be smart. When are you off this week? You know, unless it means that this one has to add up to 5. In which case we could do 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. 3, 4, 5. So we do 2, 5. Am I an idiot? Half an hour till next Wednesday. Ooh, big spender. What if we remove 1 and 4? Because that should be 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That would remove the 7 and the 4. And then that would leave 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. I guess my maths must have been wrong before. Whoops. Have you got any big plans? I guess lots of Final Fantasy, huh? Shadowlands comes out in a couple of days. I'm guessing you're not playing it. Remember in the last challenge you mentioned that Splice can take up 2 or 3 parameters, while you can use the third parameter comprised of 1 or more elements to add to the array. Here we begin with an array of numbers. When we pass following to splice, the index at which to begin deleting elements, the number of elements to be deleted 1, and the elements 13 and 14 to be... Ah, okay, so start an index. Okay. You've got some Final Fantasy then, huh? And of course, all of my streams. No, you'll probably be asleep. Next patch. Ooh, interesting. Tom won't let me decorate our tree until it's December, so I'll be doing that soon. I can't wait to decorate my tree. What time is it for you now? It must be like 12, right? Half 12? We have defined function, HTML column names, which take an array of HTML colors and an argument. Modifying the function, you splice string with the first 2 elements and array and add dark salmon and blanched almond. Okay. HTML. Oh, can we just do array actually? Dot splice. Time zones are so annoying, dude. Alright, we wanna mount to delete. We wanna delete the first elements, so do we have to make them variables first? That's the question. Splice. Alright, so we wanna refer to elements. I guess your day, that's really weird that your day is just starting and my day is like just like ending. I don't know, that seems weird to me. Maybe I'm insane. I didn't want dark salmon. Dark salmon, blanched almond. I think that worked. Okay. The next method will cover slice. Rather than modifying an array, slice copies or extracts a given number of elements to a new array, leaving the array it is called point untouched. The array, the slice only takes two parameters. The first is the index at which to begin extraction, the second index at which to stop extraction. Okay. We define a function forecast, takes an array as an argument, modify the function using slice to extract information from the argument array and return a new array. Okay. Turn array dot slice. We want to remove warm and sunny. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Wrong brackets. Why is it only taking out? Hold on, because it's not including that one. Okay, there you go. We've defined a function copy machine as the spread. While slice allows us to be selective about what elements in the array to copy among several other useful tasks, E6's new spread operator allows us to easily copy all of an array's elements in order with simple, highly reasonable syntax. The spread syntax looks like this. Okay. We have defined a function copy machine which takes an array and a number as arguments. The function is supposed to return a new array made up of number copies of array. We've done most of the work for you, but it doesn't quite work right yet. Modify the function using spread syntax so it works correctly. Hint, another method we have already covered might come in handy here. Interesting. Another method. So we're gonna need to copies, so that would be slice. So no, we can do push. So new r dot push, and then do dot like that. Turn a new array made up of number of copies of R. Yeah, and it was 2. Yeah, is that word? Okay. Sometimes I'm smart, boys. Why does my face look so washed out right now? Let me jiggle with my light a bit. Give me a sec. Does that look any better? No. Good. Okay. Another huge advantage of the spread operator is the ability to combine arrays, or to insert 3 elements. Admiral Baru, huh? I would not expect you to be an Admiral Baru watcher. I suppose. It's quite chill. Doesn't either one always pretend to be a pirate? With more traditional syntaxes, we can concatenate arrays, but this only allows us to combine arrays at the end of one and the start of another. Spread syntax makes the following operation extremely simple. I don't watch, I really like the emotes. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Using spread syntax, we've just used an operation that would have been more complex and more verbose than we used traditional methods. We've defined a function spread out which returns a variable sentence, modify the function using spread operators that returns the array. Learning to code is fun. Okay. So it's got to code in it already, so learning dot sentence is fun. Oh, done something wrong there. We have done it in single. And they do want it randomly as this for some reason. Why do they want it every single word is separate? Right. Did you see XQC got banned for cheating in Twitch Rivals? Fucking hilarious. Oh, it's not sentence, is it? I'm an idiot. It's fragment. And I was right. It should be double quotes because that worked last time, and it's no longer working. There's a comma. Oh no, let's go back. Learning to code is fun. Cool. What? Capital L. Okay. And he was doing it for content, you know, another laugh, but still. Don't be a douche, Nozzle. What a twat. Since arrays can be changed or mutated at any time, there's no guarantee about whether a particular piece of data will be on a given array, or if that element even still exists. Luckily, JavaScript provides us with another built-in method, index of, that allows us to quickly and easily check for the presence of an element on an array. Index of takes an element as a parameter, and when called, it returns a position or index of that element, or -1 if the element does not exist on the array. So dates returns -1 because it's not on the array. Okay. Index of can be incredibly useful for quickly checking the presence of an element on an array. We've defined a function, quick check, that takes an array and an element as arguments. Modify the function using index of so that it returns true if the past element exists on the array and false if it does not. Okay. Is today your first day off in your big string? So we can do returns true if past element exists in the array and false if it does not. So it's only gonna return false if it's -1. So we can do return dot index of -1. No. Index of lm if it does not equal -1. Capital O. I slept in today. The last 6 days I was doing day on, day off, which is a fucking horrible way to work. I'd much rather have 3 days of work in a row. Yeah, I found that I found that with nursing. Because what it meant is that I'd literally just spend my day off sleeping, and then I'd get nothing done ever. That's why I never did any of my assignments, because I was just so fucking tired all the time. Because it would just be like day on, day off, day on, day off, day on, day off. I'd much rather get them all done in one go, but they didn't like to give students 3 days in a row. Particularly not if it was night shifts. Sometimes when working with arrays, it's very handy to be able to iterate through each item to find one or more elements we might need, or to manipulate an array based on which data items meet a certain set of criteria. I sleep late and have to go to bed early. Yeah, and then I struggle to sleep, and then I'm exhausted the first day. Alright, it just makes it all so shitty. JavaScript offers several inbuilt methods that each iterate over arrays in slightly different ways to achieve different results, such as every, for each, and map. However, the technique which is most flexible and offers the greatest amount of control is simple for loop. Consider the following. Well, we've done for loops, but okay. Using a for loop, this function iterates through and it accesses each element of the array and subjects it to simple test that we've created. In this way, we can easily programmatically determine which data items are greater than 10 and return a new array containing those items. If array I is more than 10, what's the new array? Okay. We've defined a function filtered array which takes an array, a nested array, an element as an argument and returns a new array. Element represents an element that may or may not be present on one or more of the arrays nested within an array. Modify the function using a for loop to return a filtered version of the past array such that any array nested within an array containing lm has been removed. Ooh, okay, so it's going to require a couple of steps. Alright, so let's start with for let I equals 0. If I is less than the array dot length, then do I plus plus. Bum bum bum. If, what did I want? If array, modify the function in a for loop to return a filtered version of the past array such that any array nested within the array containing lm has been removed. Whereas if we do index of, so I, then what? Dot index, capital O this time, of lm has been removed, so not there. Equals -1. Then do new r dot hook. R, what did they do? R I, right? How far did you ever get with your programming, by the way? Yeah, he's in Washington. Washington. Right, what's it not like? Oh, it's semicolon there. Create multi-dimensional arrays. God fucking damn it. What did you use? How do you think I should stream, by the way? I've been thinking about this. I don't know what time I should stream. Let's go to Twitch metrics. What time should I stream? Science and technology. What's the best time, do we think? I think it might be in the morning. Bum bum. Actually, I guess around this time. It's very low in the morning, huh? How's that average view is 3,000 and then the lowest it goes is like 15? This is just... Look at this chart. This chart is shite. Look. That's 30k, right? So it's got 4,749 viewers. Unless it's doing average viewers. But why does it say 30k and then it doesn't make any fucking sense, mate. It must be. That doesn't make any sense. Right. Actually, I think it might be Sully Gnome as the best one. I'm cleaning my D key. Got some crap on it. It wasn't free though. Yeah, I also used Udemy. Right, here we go. Let's do in the last 90 days. See, the peak is at 12 AM. The peak is always at 12 AM, I think. Oh, maybe not. Alright, where's the point in the day then? Because they all say 12 AM, so this is when they're measuring it. There used to be a heat map. Where is the heat map? Maybe it is Twitch metric. Oh, it's Twitch strike, maybe. There's so many different fucking web things. Hold on, I'm not sure my password. Give me a second. Go full cam for a sec. So big. Here we go, here's the heat map. Alright. Let's include the top 5%. 271 channels, that's pretty impressive to be honest. You flipped, which is the real you. Did it flip? I don't remember ever putting a flip on. Okay. Alright. Ratio is 10. I want a higher ratio, right? higher ratio of viewers. I guess it's pretty steady. 45, 43, 22. It's pretty steady for the most part, so I guess there is no best time really, is there? So I guess if there's no best... What time is it? GMT. Least popular. Saturday at 9 AM. Most popular. Saturday at 8 AM. That's interesting. It's on the same day. Code school. Okay. I don't know. I guess I was considering moving my streams to 10 AM, but I think that would mean I have to start again. I mean, not that like starting again makes a massive difference, like to my viewers, you know. But I don't know. I tend to feel more productive if I've done stuff in the morning, you know, and I'd like to get the big stuff done in the morning. So if I could shift my stream to being in the morning, I think it would help me, like, you know, mentally speaking. And I'd be more, what's the word I'm looking for? What am I looking for? Consistent, there we go, that's the word. At 10 AM I'd still have not gone to bed yet. Well, then you'd still be there, right? Could move even earlier, but could go 8 AM. Do you have a long-term plan? I have many long-term plans. I'm not doing everything at Free Code Camp. Free Code Camp is what I stream because it's free. I also do Udemy, a Udemy course which I paid like £5 for, but I can't stream it because I paid money for it, right? So there's a copyright issue there. Well, I'll go back to doing some Code Wars, and I'll go back to doing some projects as well. I'm also gonna do some projects with stream. We're gonna do some Twitch programs and stuff, like an analytical program and stuff. I think would be pretty cool to do, based in JavaScript, obviously. Yeah, if you do the easy ones in Code Wars, they're not that bad. Anyway guys, we've been streaming for 3 hours today, and that's me done for the day. I will be streaming tomorrow. I have absolutely no idea what time. You'll be somewhere between 8 AM and 6 PM, okay? Depending on what time I get up. Yeah, it will probably either be 8 AM, 10 AM, 1 PM, or 6 PM, okay? That's all the promises you're getting. Just received a 6 value rating. Oh, congrats, dude. Six AM. Well, yeah, if I get up at 5 AM. You never know. Consistency is so hard. But yeah, thank you very much for hanging out today, guys. If you are new here, please consider giving the stream a follow. I swear we'll be consistent one day. It will happen. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!